Hey, before we get started on today's episode, we have a quick disclaimer for you. Constable Bean is a little rowdy, and there might be a bit of cursing involved throughout our episodes. We are all about sharing authentic well being journeys, even if they're not always pretty, because, it'd be like that sometimes. So we want you to feel super comfortable and respected while you're tuning into our podcast. So if you're easily offended by colorful language. That was a great way of putting it. Great job, Jade. This podcast might not be for you, and that is okay. But we wish you well always. Now, let's jump into today's episode. Did I go to the sound bath? I did. I did.
You
I went to the
did.
sound bath. Okay. Let's start off there. Okay. So I went to the sound bath and I told you I was going to go to the training, right? Like I had like one
Yes.
training. Okay. So, all right. So this is where things have definitely taken a change. Like it shifted, it completely shifted. All right. So I went to the first training and it is at the same place that the sound bath was. And basically I learned, it was just me. It was like a one-on-one session with me, the lady and her husband. And basically they walked me through like the different types of sound bowls, like how to use them, how to hold the tools, and basically just explained to me that sound baths are, and so we go over the sound bath, how to I think no, we didn't get into how to set up a sound bath. But we go over how to hit the bowls, how to make sound with the bowls, all this stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then it gets to the part where I start learning about massage, like sound massage. And we start off first, before that,
What is
basically.
sound massage?
Okay, so sound massage is basically using the singing bowls to
Mm-hmm.
massage you because they make vibrations, right? And so the way that
Oh.
they the way that they explained it to me was that you've gotten a regular massage though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so a regular massage, it can only go as deep as it can only its surface, right? It
Mm-hmm.
stays on the surface of your skin. A sound bath is deeper because the vibrations are able to go deeper into your body. It's a
Mm-hmm.
deeper massage. They said it's like 3 times deeper. And since your body is made up of, I think, like 70% water, they showed me the way that the sound bowls affect water. And so, and it does, like the vibration, you could see it, it's crazy. And so they made me put my hand and they put water inside of a sound bowl and they just moved the tool around the bowl, and the water starts vibrating, and that's side of your body. And I was like, oh my God. So um basically I start off playing the sound bowl, and the guy is teaching me, he's basically explaining to me, sound is a way that you can connect with yourself. A lot of times we have so many different thoughts inside of our heads, and when you play sound, it will clear up your brain, and so that you can kind of like get one direct message, right? And I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, sure, 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 sure. You okay, sure. I'm in it, but I'm like, okay, okay. And so I do this, it's he taught me basically how to use the sound bowls for meditation, right? And so he basically has me move the tool around, and the tool that I'm describing, it kind of looks like, it's almost like a drumstick, but it doesn't have that the squishy part at the end. So it just looks like a stick that you move around a bowl, right? And
Uh-huh.
we're playing on the metal bowls. So there's usually people either know the metal bowls or the crystal bowls. We're using the metal bowls, and they're from Nepal. They're handmade. It's this man, he is in it, and I love it. I'm just like, ooh, yes, keep going, tell me everything. And so I'm like, okay. He's teaching me how to use the sound bowls for meditation, and I was using it, and I think it was maybe maybe like 15 minutes that he was, because he's like, okay, you have to move it around like 3 times and then go to your left and then go to your right, and we're going to do that 3 times, and then you do that by like your third eye, and then you move it to your heart, and then you move it to your root chakra. And I didn't realize it. I did not a thought that entire time I was doing it until I got to my root chakra. And then I was like, hey, bro, it's been real quiet in your brain. You haven't said anything up here in a while. And I was like, what? What the heck? Um, and so we finished that up, and I was like, that's actually really crazy. There were no thoughts. And usually when I'm meditating, there'd just be thoughts just like lingering, just like, hey, like just like going by, just whizzing by. There goes a thought. There goes another one. Not a thought in my head, not a thought in between these two ears. And
Wow.
so I was shocked, but I like that wasn't, I was like, I mean, that's cool, but all right, cool, cool. You got me. And so then the lady takes over. Her name is Sandra. And she takes over and she starts teaching me about sound massage, and she's teaching me how to self massage. So basically it is where you put the bowl on your body. But before that, okay, so sorry, I'm so sorry that I'm messing up the story, but when we first started out, there was a bunch of different bowls. He probably had like maybe like 7 different types of bowls, right? And they're all in front of me, and he's like, okay, pick up a bowl. So I pick up a bowl, and I play the bowl. Like, he's like, okay, play the bowl, and I play it, and I was like, okay. And he's like, now play a different bowl, and I was like, okay. And I was like, I don't know, like, I'm like, is it weird, but like, is it okay for me to have like a favorite bowl? Like, is that okay, like a favorite sound? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And so I pick up the first bowl that I picked up first, and I go back to that one. And I was like, are they different sounds? He was like, they are all the same sound. That's just your bowl. You like that bowl. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. So like you pick your bowl, like your bowl picks you, but like something in you picks your bowl, if that makes sense. So there's like
Mm-hmm.
the full moon bowl, there's a new moon bowl, like there's all different types of bowls. I picked the full moon bowl. Um, I guess it is the most feminine bowl, which I did not know, but
Hmm.
that's the one that I picked. And yeah, so I picked that one, and that was the one that I stuck with because I was like, this, I like the way that this one sounds. They're all the same sound, but they sound different to me. I like this one the best. So I'm using this one bowl. It is in the key of F. Okay, so she's teaching me how to sound massage myself. And like basically, you put it on like different contact points in your body and like move up, and then you like hit the bowl and it like massages you, right? All right, so we start at the foot and we work our way up, like through like your legs, your root chakra, all of that, and then we get to the heart chakra. All right, so I lay down and she's like, okay, put it on your chest, and you're gonna do the same thing that you did every other place. And I was like, okay. So I do that. I hit the bowl, and I'm like hitting the bowl, and we all know I have anxiety. Yes, we know that I have moderate
Yes.
to, okay, this is not something new. Okay, so the way that anxiety pops up with me is that I feel like a tension in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it feels like I can't take a deep breath because it just feels really tight in my chest. And that happens like a lot. And so I put the bowl on my chest. I hit the bowl a couple of times, and then I sit up, and I'm like, bro, what? And they're looking at me and they're like, so what do you think? And I'm like, this is literally what I said. I was like, I literally have no words. I I need a moment. And they were like, okay, yeah, sometimes it's just better for you to like, sit with it or whatever, and like that's totally fine. They're the nicest people ever, most like patient people ever. I was like, I literally never don't have words. Just give me a second. I don't have any words. Like, hold on. And they were like, okay. And it took me like 30 seconds for me to like form a sentence. I was speechless. Like, I've never. And I was like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but I feel like this is what I was looking for. And they were like, that's great. I was like, I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say to you. I think like I
You're
think
just
that
like, this is amazing and you guys
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you realize what you've just given me, because immediately, like, my chest just felt open. It was almost like I just had like Vicks for my heart chakra. Like, it felt like that. Like, I'm not lying to you. That is the way that it felt. And I was just like, what is going on? I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I didn't know. I was like, do people know about this? Like, do people know about sound massage like this? Because if they did, everyone should be doing it. This is amazing. I feel like so good. Like, I've never in my entire life just felt like instant relief. Like, it like washed over me, Aileen. Like, I cannot explain it to you. I wish I could. It was amazing. And so I was like, I
That
don't
is
think you
so
understand.
awesome.
It was so like, I was trying to explain to them like about my anxiety and how I feel like a tightness in my chest and stuff like that. And they were like, well, like, it sounds like now you have a tool that you know that you can use. And like, when you get anxious, you can always just do this. Like, this will always work for you. And I was trying, like, I was just so happy because I mean, I've been like, we know about my anxiety toolbox. I know we never got to the episode, but like, I feel like I was like, this goes to the top of the list. This is instant. Like, it's just like, it is so good. Like, it feels perfect. Like, this is perfect. And so obviously I'm stunned. I'm like, yo, this is, I feel like the world needs to know about this. Like, y'all have been
Mm-hmm.
keeping this a secret because you didn't know about it. Like, and I mean, I feel like if anyone's going to know about it, it would be me and you. And the fact that I was like, what is sound massage? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I've
I,
only heard about like sound bowl, like cleansing and clearing and stuff, but I
yeah.
don't know about sound massage. I think we need an episode on this, and we have to show a video on it so we understand, and you're gonna teach me the stuff and everyone else
Okay.
because
I
we need to
literally,
know.
Aileen, I got you because the story gets better. I promise you, this is just the beginning of it.
Oh my
Um,
God, Jade, I'm so happy for
no,
you.
Aileen, I promise you, happy endings. It's a good story. And so I'm like, what, like, does the world, like, I'm like, am I the only one who didn't know about this? And I'm just finding out, like, I'm like, the world needs to know about this because this is amazing. Like, everyone needs to feel this. Like, I'm like, and I know I sound crazy right now because like I was just like, no one's gonna believe me until they feel it. Like, they have to experience it. Cause I was telling Milton and Monica, and they were like, okay, girl. And I was just like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. You have to feel it, because once you feel it, you'll understand it. And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, okay. And I'm like, they think I'm crazy. Anyways, and so immediately, like, I'm like, this is amazing. So I told you the last episode, I was like, if I like it, I'm going to continue like the 2 to 3 courses that are left. And
Yes.
so I talked to the lady. I'm like, so what are the other 2 courses about? Like, what's good? And she tells me basically like course number 2 is like how to do a sound bath, which I think we're all more familiar with.
Yes.
But like, if you're not, it's basically you like lay down and a person plays sound bowls for like, I don't know, 40 to 60 minutes. And it's really good. It helps people calm down. It helps people relax. Sometimes people fall asleep. Sometimes I personally had like, well, the guy that was snoring kind of messed it up, but before was seeing colors and stuff like that. So it's a good thing, and I feel like that's more common. So basically the second course was about how to do a sound bath. And it basically taught me how to like set up the sound bath, how to like, create like the space for a sound bath, how to like play the bowls, like everything. And it was so cute. Like when he was teaching me, so obviously I did the 2 courses. When he was teaching me how to do it, like we went back and forth, and it was kind of like, have you ever seen like 2 people like play guitar and they go back and forth like they're battling?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were doing with like the sound bowls, and it was so much fun. Like, they taught me how to like bring in elements to the sound bath. So like basically um they studied a lot of sound baths, but I think the thing that like resonated the most with them, which also resonates the most with me, is like bringing in nature to it. So they bring in the 4 elements to the sound bath, which is like water, earth, fire, and water into the sound
Mm-hmm.
bath, which is so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, that's the way that I decorated my apartment to make sure that I had the four elements. And she was like, so you get it? I was like, I do get it. I was like, I I really do get it. You don't understand how much I'm getting it. And then course number 3 was how to do like the massage. So like the contact and the no contact massage. So basically the contact massage is where they physically, like, they actually put the bowls on you and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the no contact massage is kind of what you described, where it's like the energy healing, like where they're kind of like, cleansing the energy around you, but the bowls are not touching you. So, all right. So I went through course number 2. It was cool. I had a good time. All I knew, it felt like I was a kid playing with toys. That's the way I could describe it. Like I was so happy to just be like sitting there playing with bowls, playing with all this stuff. And for me, like, I was just like, I can do whatever I want and it's going to sound beautiful. Cause I don't know. Like for me, I was just like, I can't mess it up. Like it's like a natural thing. Like it's very simple. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was having a good time doing the sound bath for session 2. And then session 3 came. And this is when I got my ass handed to me by the universe. Are you ready? Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so here I am. Here comes Jade. Unsuspecting, thinking I'm just going to play some bowls again. Okay, this is the 3rd day. This is the 4th day that I'm seeing these people. And I'm like, I know what to expect. Like, I got it. We're gonna do massage. Like, it's gonna be just like that second day. It's gonna be great. And so we're talking. We start out. We're going over the 7 chakras, and they're explaining to me, like, basically, you know um each chakra and what it represents and what will manifest in the body if the chakra is off balance or if there's like a problem with the chakra. And he's also telling me like when you can and cannot do a sound bath for a person, or not a sound bath, a contact massage. So like, if a person has like a pacemaker, or like if they're if they have how do you say it,
Epilepsy.
yes, if they have that, or like, what will happen when a person gets a sound bath or a contact massage, like how their body will feel afterwards and stuff like that. So we went over all of that, and then we started talking about the 7 chakras and the colors that they represent and all this stuff. And basically we get to the crown chakra, and they're like, the crown chakra is number 7, and or like it's like the top one, and it's the color purple. And honestly, I knew this. Like I know this, right? Like I know about the 7 chakras. But like having this conversation with them, it was different. Like we delved deeper into it, and I think they
Mm-hmm.
honestly just had more knowledge on it than I've ever been able to just have a conversation with any other person. And so we're talking about it, and they're like, the if this chakra is off balance, we actually, at this point, we were talking about the third eye chakra. And they were like, if this is off balance, they might see the color, whatever the color, I think it's the color blue or something. And I was like, whoa, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on. So when I saw the color purple, does that mean? And the girl kind of like smiled to herself, like she kind of had like an inside joke. Like I saw her do it, like,
Mm-hmm.
when she's like, oh, she gets it. And like I was just like, wait a minute, so like why was mine, so do I need to connect, like is mine off balance? And they were like, it could also mean that yours is like opening. And I was like, okay, well, which one is it? Because you see how those are different. Like I was just like, bro, those are two totally different things. Like, which one is it? And they were like, it could be that you need to spend more time with nature and like all this stuff. And I was like, okay, all right, fine. We have like this kind of like conversation where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this, but we'll circle back. We'll put a pin in this one. But conversation, it was great. I learned a lot about the chakras. Then we go and we start learning about no contact massage. Okay, so this is when the bowl is not touching you at all. And basically I learned how to do the massage. It is um it's it's something. It really is. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I thought it was beautiful. I got to do it. Like the guy was teaching me. And
I could
so
imagine you doing that.
no, I was so in it. I was like, excuse me. So, can you just go back really fast? Do you mind? Can you just go over the foot again? Thank you. I very much. Are you putting it on the ball of her foot or the heel? Thank you. And so we practiced it on her, and they're like, okay, now it's your turn to get a sound, like get the sound massage, the no contact massage. And I was like, okay. So I saw, like, I did it on someone, so I know what's gonna happen. I lay down, and first you start on you're laying on your stomach because they start with your back, and then you flip over and you do your front, right?
Hmm.
And I get the massage, and they finish up the massage, like they do, like to wrap everything up, they always like do like a little sound bath, and like they bring you back slowly. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm okay. At this point, I'm okay. I sit up and I was like, I didn't fall asleep, but I left for a little bit. I don't know how to explain that to you other than like I was awake, but something happened. Like during that like massage, I did not fall, like I know I was there. It's just I wasn't there. Like I was not sleeping though. There was no like, oh shoot, I fell asleep for a little bit. I was there. I was conscious, but I wasn't. I don't know how to, I can't explain it. And so I come back because I hear like the sound bath, and I'm like, okay, like, we're wrapping things up or whatever. I'm like, that's weird. That's weird. Like what happened? Like I don't know what happened. It was almost like a blackout, but like I don't know. How do you black out during a sound bath? I don't know. Or during a sound massage. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. I sit up super straight. Like I sit up so fast. I was like, well, that happened. And they were like, hang on, hold on, give it a second. And I was like, okay, because I know me. Like I'm like ready to go to the next thing. I'm like, all right, now let's go do the contact massage. They're like, give it a second, don't move too fast, lay back down. And I was like, okay. I lay back down. I started crying so hard, like so hard. And
What?
I'm not lying to you. I like bawled my eyes out, like fucking cried like no one's business. And I was like, what is going on? And like I wasn't expecting that, like at all. Like I was like, why am I crying? First of all, I don't just be out here crying, like, let alone in front of people, let alone in front of people that I met 3, 4 days ago. Like I was just like, Jade, why are you crying? And Aileen, I was crying, like crying. The lady was hugging me. Okay, like I stood up and she like gave me a hug. And like I was like, actually, I need to sit back down because I'm about to like go into like a hysterical cry right now, and I need to be sitting down for it. Like that is how much it like hit me in my face. And so she's like, yeah, of course, like sit down. And I'm sitting there and I'm crying. First of all, I'm crying in Bali with a spectacular view. And so like I'm like, well, shit, if you're going to be crying anywhere, it's not a bad view, like it's not a bad
There you
place to be
go.
crying. And so there was that, but I was like, but why am I crying? Like what is going on? And I really didn't understand it. And she's like, what, like, how are you feeling? I was like, I don't know. I have like this overwhelming feeling that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I don't know, like, and I'm just like really confused. Like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I don't know. And I'm just really confused and I'm scared. And I'm just like, and I'm telling her, I'm giving her the business, bro. Like you'd have swore she was Tiana, the way that I was venting to her. And but honestly, I've had Tiana like in my life for like what 3 years, never cried in therapy. So what is going on here? And so I'm crying to this lady and I'm like, I don't understand. Like I'm just like really confused. And I didn't know that I felt this way. Like obviously, like I know like I want a certain like way of living, and
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I didn't realize that it was sitting on my chest like the way that it was. And
Hmm.
so she's like, you know what? Like sometimes in life, you don't need a plan. You just need a direction. And I was like, huh, well, that's a word. We should put that on a t-shirt. Okay. I was like, okay. And honestly, it made sense to me. I told you really, just really fast. I told you backtrack when I first did the sound bath. She gave me the rose. I told you about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure because that comes into play later. Anyways, and so I'm sitting there and she's like, yeah, sometimes you don't need to know exactly where you're going. You just like kind of need, someone to point you in the right direction. And I was like, all right. And so like at this point she had made me like lunch and I'm like I've moved from sitting on the floor to like crying on like by the kitchen table. There's something else that we had a conversation about, which was like life lessons coming back to you. And this was kind of earlier on when we were talking about the chakras, and I'm so sorry that I'm hopping around with the story, but like when we were talking about the chakras, they basically were like, you're going to get life lessons when like you need to work on your crown chakra, and it's going to keep coming back to you until you pass the test. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are you serious? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, this is fucking annoying. So you mean I actually have to make a change in my life in order to get what I want? And
Yes.
they were like, yeah, imagine that. And I was like, I'm pretty upset about that because I thought I can just like jump over it and get exactly what I want. And they were like, you will not
Nope.
get what you want until you make the change that you need to
Mm-hmm.
make. And so I was asking her because her and her husband are so in love. I promise you, is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, I'm like, please write a love story. It's beautiful. And so I was like, so let me ask you, I was like, did you have to make a change in like the way that you're dating in order for you to find the love of your life? And she was like, yes. And I was like, fuck, damn it. Damn it. You mean I have to actually do things? Yeah. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like, oh, this is so unfortunate. You mean I really had to make a change? This is it's just like really a lot of work. And she was like, yes, I did. And he basically was like, I had to make changes too in order to get what I wanted. And I was like, man. And I was like, that means I actually had to make a change. And I know exactly what the changes are, but I've been avoiding them. And that's when the drinking came into play. And that's when I was like, I feel like I need to stop drinking because I feel like whenever I'm drinking, I meet people that kind of suck, to be honest with you. Like
Mm-hmm.
really kind of suck as like people where I'm just like, uh, is it because I met you when I was drunk and so like, my I just wasn't thinking properly and now you're a shit person, bro. Like I don't want you in my life, but I met you when I was drunk and I'm like I feel like I keep meeting these people while I'm drunk, and that is the middle, like that's the thing that I keep on coming back to basically is like you meet these people while you're drunk. The factor that's like the same factor in all of the stories is like, okay, well, why did that happen? Or like, how, like what's the thing that's always the same in the story is like Jade was drinking when this happened. I would say like 90% of my life regrets happened while I was drunk. And so I'm like, Jade, let's really think about that. How great is drinking for you if most of your like things that you regret happened while you were drunk? Like, what does that say about you? And like drinking, is it really as helpful as you think it is? Like, is it really that fun if the next morning you wake up and you're like, why did I do that? So that is kind of what I'm trying to explain to her. And she was like, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do it anymore, you don't have to, and you could just stop. And she was like, are you worried that like your friends are going to like treat you differently? Or like, I was like, no, honestly, no. I think all of my friends are great and they're going to support me in whatever. I'm not really worried about it. And she was like, yeah, well, you, and this goes for anything in life, you have to remove what's taking up space because it's taking up space for what you really want. So like the universe isn't going to give you what you want until you make space for what you actually want. You have to make space for it. You can't just like, oh, it'll fit in here somewhere. You need to get rid of it, like whatever like is holding space. You can't hold space for things that you don't want. That's not how that works. And I was like, damn, I get the message because I feel like I've been getting the same message all the time. And then she
Right.
brought up, like, we had a conversation about, like, you know, what we see in others. And
Oh,
I was just
100%.
I was just like, bro, first of all, I did not come here to get read down. Okay. I'm on vacation. Let's not forget. She's reading me. She is reading me. And I was like, it was funny because I had met like this guy. Um, I met him at a beach club.
Yes, you
And
told us. You told us.
yes, so I met him and I whatever. I think I was drunk and I was just like, sure, why not? This was no, I told you about the guy that I met at the pool. I don't think I told you about the guy that I met
Oh.
at the beach club. And I was like, he's cool, whatever. I was drunk. Like, I was like, whatever. Started texting him and I was like, I don't like the way that he texts. He texts just like me. And I was just like, Jade, you have some nerve. You have some nerve being like, I don't like the way he texts. He texts just like you, which is just sporadic AF. And I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like the way that he is taking forever to reply back to me. Girl, if you don't shut up, that's exactly what you do. You take 45 business days to reply back to everybody because you're like, oh, I'm going to get to it eventually. And whatever. And I was like, that is the biggest read of my life. Fine, lady, fine. I get it. I get it. The universe, at this point, I think the universe is talking to me through her. And which this is what I frequently think the universe is doing for you too. Like it's talking to me through you, but whatever. And so I'm like, fine. I have gotten all of these messages. I get it. I get it. I'm annoyed that I get it, but I'm just like, fine. Like I've gotten the message so many times that I'm like, I get it. Fine. It's
Mm-hmm.
heard. I hear you. And so I, I finally stop crying and we go to do the contact massage. And they are like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do it. And then we're going to do a quick one on you. And I'm like, okay, got it. I learned how to do the contact massage. I'm like, okay, I got it. This is nice. We got it. And they're like, okay, now we're gonna do just like a quick one, not too in depth because you've seen how we do it on her, so it's gonna be fine. And I'm like, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, surely I have cried enough today. Okay, surely I'm not going to cry again. I just cried an hour ago. Clearly, I can keep it together. So I'm like, they're like, are you ready? I was like, you know what? I mean, yeah, why not? Like, what else could happen? This is literally what I said. I was like, I mean, what else could happen? So lay down, get the little, it was 15 minutes, bro. It was 15 minutes. It was way shorter than the other one. I do the little sound massage and I'm like, bitch, why are you crying again? Pull it together. What is happening to you? I'm like, you don't just be crying like that. Why are you crying? Like literal tears. Like I was just like had to give me a tissue and everything. Like I was just like, bro, this is just not like you. And so she's like, what's up? And I was just like, I don't know, but like, and it's funny that like I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying at this point because I felt like I worked through everything I needed to work through
Yeah, yeah.
during that last cry. And so I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's just like, I don't know why the music is like hitting me like the way that it is. And I was like, it's kind of funny because like I think I'm supposed to be here and be doing this or whatever. And like, obviously, I wouldn't be having such strong reactions if I wasn't. And like, the universe is kind of telling me, like, the reason why I'm having a strong reaction is because if it wasn't as strong, I wouldn't pay attention to it. Like, I'm so stubborn. And that, like, if it's not in my face, like, clearly, I'm gonna like completely avoid it. And so
Right.
something is telling me that the reason why I'm having like these reactions is because I need to pay attention to these reactions. And she's like, okay. And I was like, it's honestly kind of funny because I've always said I have bad music taste. Like everyone has always been like, don't give Jade the aux cord. She's going to play Taylor Swift, basically. And so, which honestly, I'm a Swiftie. Like, I don't care.
Don't
But
we all love her? Love
right.
her.
I mean, no, we don't all, or they don't all, but I listen, Taylor gang. Okay. You feel me? So, I'm like, I find it so interesting that like music is moving me like this when all my life I've thought I had bad music taste. And she basically is like, listen, if the music is moving you like this, Like this type of music, you don't have bad music taste. Like, and she's like, listen, it's it can all be like so simple. Like no one, we've never had someone like react to music like that, like to the sound bowls, like we've seen you react to it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like I thought everyone would like, haven't you trained other people? Like I saw the list of all the people that graduated from the course. Like, what are you talking about? She was like, no one has ever like reacted like the way that you reacted. So clearly, like something is like pulling you to it. And I was like, okay. And so basically we sat down, we had a conversation, and it was just like, I don't know. I just really don't know. And she invited me. She was like, this is very last minute, but we're doing this ceremony tomorrow. And I think it'll give you the answers that you need. And you're
Jade, I
invited to
just got
come.
the goosebumps.
Bro, you're not gonna fucking believe this. And so she's like, you're invited to come. I forgot the biggest part of the story. I'm so sorry. So before you do the sound healing or the sound bath, they make you pull
Hmm.
like a card, like an oracle card or something like that. And I got the card. It said like the river of adventure or something like that. Something like that. River, it basically keywords river adventure. And so when I had finished the sound bath, not the sound bath, I'm sorry. When I had finished the first sound massage, like over my body felt like tingling. Like it felt like I was like, what is going on here? And I had to sit with that. Like I was like, interesting. If I'm going to be the person that gives sound massages, I'm going to have to like feel things. Like because my energy is important during the sound massage, during the sound bath, everything.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to have to get like this together. And so the fact that the card said like something about adventure, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, no shit, Sherlock, I'm on vacation. This is my adventure. Like, I'm going on another trip. Like, so basically I had thought that the card was about my vacations. And then after the sound bath, or shit, you know what it is? You know why I keep on saying bath is because I'm staring right at the bathtub in my hotel room. Let me that's what it is. That's what it has to be. I truly apologize because I feel like I'm confusing everyone. And so basically after the first sound massage, this is the no, this is the non-contact massage. I felt all tingly, and then the guy gives me my card back, and he's like, "This might mean something different to you now." And that's when I started crying because I was like, "My next adventure is to feel things like emotions that I've been avoiding for so
Hmm.
long." And I was like, I don't want to do it. I was like, that sounds terrible. You mean I have to feel things and work through things? My God, that sounds terrible. And so that also that sent me on a spiral. And so I think I have to say yes because I think that even though I'm scared, this is a part of like flow. Like the card says river, that to me means flow, like go with the flow.
Hmm.
And this 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 feels intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like this just doesn't happen. Who just gets invited to a ceremony? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'm like, what are the odds? Like that doesn't, I was like, I feel like I have to go to this. Like I need to see this through. Like this feels like everything, the universe is breadcrumbing me. And this feels like I need to do this. And so I was a little afraid, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I like called Tyler and I called my mom, and they basically were like, you know what? Just go. And it honestly, I was shocked that Monica was like, you know what? I think you should do it. I didn't think she was gonna say that. I thought she was gonna be like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But she was like, you know what? If you don't do it, I think you'll always wonder. And I think that's worse than whatever is going to
Hmm.
happen. Because I was afraid. I asked her, I was like, am I going to see anything like scary or like what's going to happen? And she was like, whatever happens, you needed the answer. Like, you're gonna have to get through it, but like you could see something scary. Like everyone sees something different, basically. And so I did it. I went the next day. I went to the ceremony, and basically, this is when I found out that the guy, he's not just a guy, he's a shaman. And I was like, bro, before I went on this trip, I was talking to my mom, and there was like this purification tour or whatever. And then, like, after you go talk to a shaman, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it because I don't want to talk to a shaman. I'm not trying to, like, I literally said, I don't want to talk to a shaman. I don't want to know. That's what I said before I went on this trip. I was like, I will only dunk my head in water. I don't want to talk. Like, that's what I said. And come to
And
find
look at
out,
you.
no, I was like, I've been bamboozled. Like, this entire time I thought he was just a guy that really loved music and like was just deep, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then come to find out he's a whole ass shaman. I said, sir, what the fuck? I was like, wait. And I find out the day of the ceremony too. They were like, oh yeah, the shaman. I said, who? Who's the shaman? Is there a different guy coming? I said, I said, wait, wait a minute. You mean this entire time I've been talking to a shaman? Like, no big deal. Just haha kiki. He's been teaching me about sound bowls. Are you joking? And so basically, they send me to this villa, which honestly I was laughing at because I was like, you didn't watch Love Island yet, did you?
No.
Okay, well, on Love Island, it's in a villa, and every time like a new person comes in, it's like a brand new bombshell enters the villa. And so, like, in my head, I was like, I'm the brand new bombshell who entered the villa, because I wasn't supposed to be on this. I was not supposed to be invited to this ceremony. Anyway, so I get there. It's this big villa in Ubud. The view is sick. I will send you a video of it.
I need to
Remember
see
how I
this.
said, yeah, no, I'm sending you videos. Remember how I said the way that I will know that the trip is a success is if there's an infinity pool. Got my
Yes.
infinity pool.
Dang.
Sick. And there's like, when I got there, there was one girl, but it ended up being three girls altogether plus me. So it was four of us. None of them spoke English. Not one. They all spoke Russian. And I was just like, you know what? Whatever, bro. Whatever. And so they're talking, and I'm just sitting there looking at the night sky. I'm freaking out, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hugged the lady and I was like, she's like, are you ready? I was like, as
You're
ready
like,
as I'll ever
no.
be. I'm terrified. I'm thinking I'm going to have to fight my demons. I'm thinking I'm going to have to fight my subconscious brain. And I'm scared. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's in there, bro. Like, it's really messed up in there sometimes. And so I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm thinking I'm going to see demons, the devil. I don't know what I thought I was going to see. I don't know. And so I was ready for a psychotic break as well. Like, I Googled it. I was like, could I have a psychotic break after this? And they were like, maybe. And I was like, fucking sick, bro. Honestly, it's really okay, okay. And so we're sitting there, and two girls had, so basically we pulled out Google Translate like towards the end, and because they had been talking, and I was just sitting there like looking up at the night sky, freaking out, bro. I was like, freaking, we had to wait for like an hour. That was the longest hour of my life. I was like, can we just do it and get it over so I can go on with my life, please, please. And so they're talking or whatever. And basically, I figured out that one girl hadn't done a ceremony before, but two other girls had done the ceremony before. And so I was asking the girl, and she basically was like, don't be scared. Cause I was like, I'm scared I'm going to see something scary. She was like, don't be scared. It's like all love. You're going to be fine. And I was like, oh my God. And so while I was waiting, I was listening to like a meditation on YouTube, and it was like not how to, but like, meditation to connect with your spirit guides. And the number, like the timestamp on it was 2 minutes. It was 22 minutes, 22 seconds. And we remember two is my favorite number. And so I was just like, huh, okay. So I listened to that one. And then I talked to the shaman, and I told him I want to talk to the spirit guides. They call us in, and they give us a number. They're like, okay, you're bed number one. Jade, you're bed number two. And I was like, I'm bed number two. Okay.
What's your favorite number?
I was like, okay, got it. And we're all laying down. They give you like tissues and they give you water. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is about to happen to me? They give me blankets. They told me to bring socks. They told me to bring a sweater, basically. And I brought my stuffed animal because I'm a child. And so, because I was terrified and I was like, I'm not doing this by myself. So I brought Fluffy along with me, which is the stuffed animals I've had since I was like 2. And so
We love
I
Fluffy. Don't
we
worry.
love Fluffy. We love Fluffy. Fluffy, listen, Fluffy gonna hold me down regardless, okay? They smudge you, right? And then they have you like pick a card again. And my card says something about forgiveness, the veil of forgiveness. And I was like, fuck. Okay. All right. All right. And so I sit down, and what happens, it is the craziest thing, Aileen. Like, I was just like, this is only some shit. This is only some shit the universe would send me to, because what in the fuck is going on here? So we all have like our own individual like bed, like, and we're all sitting on the floor. And then obviously there's like their sound stuff because they're gonna play music and stuff, right? They turn
Mm-hmm.
off the lights. It's completely dark. Complete, like, it is black. The only thing that you could see is the moonlight through like the cracks of the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is dark in here. And they're like, we're not going to play music until the first 30 minutes, like for the first 30 minutes. And then after that, we'll start playing music. And I was like,
You're
okay.
like, okay.
They give us chocolates, right? Which they're, all right, here we
They
go.
have Balinese chocolate.
It is not Balinese chocolate, bless your heart. It's mushrooms, but it's like ceremonial grade mushrooms. I From Mexico, I think. And so yeah, and I've done mushrooms before. Never like this though. I've never done mushroom, like I've microdosed before, but this was different. Like, this was not for fun. This was not for fun, bro. Like, at all. And this is why I Googled, like, can I have a psychotic break? Because I was like, what is about to happen to me? Like, what are we doing? I was a little bit afraid because I was like, what's happening? And so they give us mushrooms in the form of chocolates, and I get 4 chocolates. And I'm like, okay, Jade, you're gonna be fine.
Do
I'm
you
freaking
know
out
it's
though.
that, or you think it's just chocolate?
No, I know it's that. Like, I knew
But they
because
like
when
told you, or you just knew?
no, she told me the day, like when she was telling me about the ceremony, she was like, it's mushrooms, but this is not like your like mushrooms that you do for fun, basically. Like, it's not like the mushrooms that you just take like just to, just to be on mushrooms. These are different. And I was like, I believed her, to be on, like, I fully believe her. And she was right. She was 100% right. These are different mushrooms, bro. Different breed, everything. And so I take 4 of them. The guy, like the shaman, he like blesses them. He blesses us. Like, he's like, basically, he gives us like a little rundown. Like, whatever happens, just know things will come to an end. Like, if something, like, whatever, if you don't like it, just know things will come to an end. Know that you have the power to like change what change the channel that you're focusing on, and just don't have any expectations for what you think you're supposed to see, basically. And I'm like, okay. So they turn the lights off. We're sitting in the dark, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sitting here, I'm talking shit in my head. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, bro, not you paying to sit in the dark. Like, this is stupid. Like, Jade, you know what? Sometimes you get yourself into some real stupid shit. And this is what I'm thinking to myself. Like, I'm like, but my heart is like racing because I'm like, but also, why are we sitting in the dark? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't get down in the dark. Like, I'm afraid of the dark. I don't like the dark. I have a nightlight. Okay. Like, I sleep with the light on. Okay. And so to be sitting in the dark with like in in a room with only people that speak Russian, like, I'm just like, what is going on? Where has Bali sent me to? Like, what is happening? And so I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, I like look to see where like the moonlight is, and the moonlight goes like fuzzy. And I'm like, that's weird. That's weird. And I it took a second. I was like focusing on my breathing because I knew, like, I was like, Jade, calm down. You're okay. Everything's going to be okay. Just focus on your breathing like the way that you did during the sound bath. Focus on your breathing like the way that you meditate, like it's going to be fine. Focusing on
Mm-hmm.
my breathing. And basically, I'll just give you like a quick summary. I met my spirit guides. They are so beautiful. Love them. They love me. And
Love
basically,
that.
yeah, no, they are, yeah, they're top tier. And I just knew it was them. Like, I was just like, wait, it's you. And they're like, yeah, hey. And I was like, oh shit. It wasn't like that. Like, it was, but mind you, I'm not talking. Like, this is all going on in my head. Like, everything is quiet. Um, and I'm like, I have questions. And they were like, yeah, what's up? Like, whatever you have questions for, we have answers for. And I was like, basically, so to see them, they were so like, I can't describe it. The only way I can describe it is like I saw them as like colors and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like just so much love. Like, it was just, oh, like it was so, like I've never felt so much love in my entire life. Like, it was so beautiful. And they were like, we love you and we're always here for you, and we're never like gonna hurt you. And I know you were afraid to like do this, but like, we're here for you, and we're never gonna like, we would never do that to you. Like, we know what you need, and you did not need to be afraid of us. Like, we needed you to feel how much we love you, and so we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
give you that. And they like sent me love, and it like washed over my entire body, and I just know I was smiling in the dark. Like, I just know it. And so I was like, well, like, it's good to, good to meet you in person. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, how do I like contact you guys? Like, how do I like get in touch with you guys? Because I can't keep on taking trips to Bali to like sit in the dark. Like, that's crazy. And they basically were like, tell me I'm wrong though. That would be absurd. Um, and so I basically they basically said, you talk to us through the sound. And that's how you give love, and that's how you'll give yourself love. And whenever you need us, just talk to us through the sound. And I was like, oh, so I'm supposed to do sound. And they're like, yeah, bitch, do sound. And I was like, is that why sound hit me in my face like the way that it did? And they were like, yeah. So yeah, I think that's like my thing. So I won't go deeper into like all the other questions that I had for them, because I had a lot of questions for them. And I was like, I had some questions. And even like after I had to like, we like all like sat around in a circle, she was telling me like, I could see you like having revelations after revelations. And I was like, yeah, because I would ask them a question, they would give me an answer, and I'd be like, oh, and then I'd sit back down and I'd be like, wait a minute, and another motherfucking thing. I have another question for you. And like, I'd sit up and be like, what's up with this, and this? And they'd give me an answer, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that all makes sense now. And then I'd sit back down and I'd be like, hold on. Cause it would just lead me down more questions. And at one point, like, I started crying. Like, I cried a lot, because I had to forgive myself for a lot of things, which made sense because that's what the card said. But I feel better now. I feel so much better. But I will say, I'm so happy that the people next to me did not speak English, because the girl next to me was bawling her eyes out just as bad as me. And honestly, if I would have been able to understand what she was saying, I think I would have focused on that. She was like talking, like, I don't know what she was saying, so I didn't have to focus on it, but she was going through it. And honestly, I wanted to like put my hand out and touch her, but they said you can't touch each other. But I was just like, girl, I wish you the best, because whatever's going through, whatever you're going through, I went through. Because like, the shaman had to walk up. She didn't have to walk up to me. I know, like, throughout the entire time they like checked on us. They were playing music. Like, the lady came over and held me while like
Mm-hmm.
we were like just, I don't know, swaying. And she basically like, she got me, bro. She did. She was like, I just like, she came over to me and she was like, listen, like, you're so beautiful. And the reason why I gave you that rose is because I really saw your beauty. And like, you're blooming and it's inside of you and we see it and you have the light, you just need to let it out. And I started fucking crying so hard because I was like, you're such a nice lady to you. Like I was just like, you're why? But like honestly, like I was just like, I got it. Like there was also like a moment of just like my spirit guide just like sent me so much understand. Like I get everything that she was saying now. Everything makes sense and everything was so clear. That's the only way I can describe it. And honestly, if I tried to describe it any other way, it wouldn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to me, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically, the rose, like, it was, it had to happen that way, and I get it. And so basically, the night ends, and I go back to the villa, go to sleep. The next morning, we like have a little sit down, we have a talk about it, and I was like telling her, and she had to interpret, not interpret, but translate what I was saying to everyone, because I was like telling them like everything that I learned and stuff. And I basically was like, I wanted to talk to my spirit guides. I did. I got all the answers that I needed. I'm very clear on what I need to be doing, which is I talk to them through sound, and that's my key. And yeah, another girl had a breakthrough where she was like, I need to be a singer. I love singing. And I realized that. And another girl realized that she needed a dog. She was like, I want a dog. I didn't realize that I wanted a dog so bad. So I'm getting a fucking dog. And I was like, I know that's right, girl. And then another girl was like, it was fun. I just had a good time. And I was like, respect. I respect that. And that was it. And so today I got a tattoo of a rose on my hand.
In
Yeah.
Bali.
Yep. And
Wow.
yeah, so
So the vine?
yeah, so I have the vines, right? So every time I go on a solo travel trip, I get a new vine. And so this time I still got a vine. It's just that on the vine there's like one single rose, and it's to represent the rose that she gave me, and like me realizing that I am blooming, and that's really beautiful, and I cannot thank her enough. And I bought 3 sound bowls, and Aileen, I'm going to make you listen to me do sound bowls because it brings me so much it brings me so much peace and happiness, and you have to experience it. And so that's where we're at now, and that is my story. And can you believe that happened to me? What a path.
I really love it for you though. I feel
Thank
like you
you.
needed it.
I did. I
I
did.
f-
That is, I can't explain it, but I did need that. I really did. And I'm so grateful for the lady seeing that that's what I needed, because I didn't know that that's what I needed, but it was literally perfect. It was so perfect. It was so beautiful. Like I was like, I can't even describe. I'm forever in debt to this lady. Like if she's ever like, you know what, Jade, actually you owe me like $45,000, I'm like, I do. I do.
I
You
do.
got
I do.
me. You got me, because what she gave me is honestly priceless. Like I like giving me peace of mind. That's what I've always wanted. Like I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
explain it to you, but like you really just changed the entire trajectory of my entire life. And
What did I tell you, Jade, before you went on this trip? I said you're gonna
I
find yourself,
I
and I think you did.
know, but I don't. People be saying that, and then I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think it was gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna be like this. I didn't think it was gonna be like this at all. Like, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, Jade went to the spa 4 times, and that was nice, and she found herself. Like, I thought that was it. I didn't think I was gonna. I didn't think I was gonna find out like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm like this is what's gonna make me happy. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Did you think that? I didn't think that. I
I
did not
did.
think that. You thought that? I did not think that. I thought it was just gonna be a nice little trip. I was gonna sit by the pool, read some books, drink some cocktails. Now I'm
No,
like,
you're
I don't
going to
even,
Bali. After being there, meeting all the people that were so nice and seeing how spiritual they are, how they bless everything. And I was like, Jade's gonna find herself. So
bro.
I had an inkling. I was like,
I
Jade's
didn't.
gonna. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you had this experience. And I'm looking forward to you showing me and everyone else all these techniques you've learned. But we need to
I
start having this camera working because I need to see it.
Yeah, we do. We need let me get back home and like get my like bearings a little bit. And let us not forget, I'm supposed to go to Germany and Amsterdam in 2 weeks. So you got to give me a
Are
little
you
bit of
really?
time. Yeah, girl, I get back on Monday and then in 2 weeks I leave for Amsterdam because I got to go see Beyonce or Beyonce got to see me. You feel me?
I didn't know you were going. I thought Bali was your trip this year.
Oh, you know what? It was. And then Beyonce happened. And I was like, I can't miss Beyonce. But so give me, I want to get back home. I bought 3 bowls. I don't know how they're going to fit in my luggage, but I thought it would be just kind of, I'm sentimental and shit. So I was like, so I bought the bowl for my heart. The first bowl that I used, that's the bowl that I bought because that was the one that like spoke to me the most. So I bought that one and then I bought 2 other ones and then I bought like the drumsticks and the tools to use it. Um so I just need to figure out a way to get it back home. That should be interesting because it's like 10 pounds, bless my heart. My
You got
suitcase was
this.
already full. So I don't know where I got the nerve, but they were like, you should probably just take it because customs might rock your shit. Like shipping might be crazy. And I was like, all right, fine. So I did. And let me get my life together
Okay.
once I get back home. Give me until July. I need until July because I won't be back until the end of June.
Okay.
And
July
then
it
I
is.
can
You're going to teach us
practice.
all this.
I'm gonna show you how and everything. And Aileen, I have my 3 certificates. I'm certified in it. Like I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Is this your new career path over here? Forget about what we do in our daily
n-
lives.
I mean, listen, if I could, I would just play sound bowls. Yeah, 100%. I would love that. I would just be like a little fairy, just playing sound bowls, just, doing wind chimes and shit. It is so much fun. I cannot explain it to you. I'm just like, you don't get it. Like, I'm like,
I'm excited for you to teach me.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I'm looking forward to it.
it is so, and honestly, it is so nice because it's like, it's however you want to do it. And I think that's why I like it so much is like, they give you like, the technique, but there's no like, okay, you need to, in piano, it's like, okay, it's this way or this way. Like, you have to learn it. Like, it's really like whatever your heart tells you to do. And I think that's why I was just like, I love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun because I can do whatever I want to do, like
Right.
whatever. Like if I just want, and they're like, you know what? Don't forget that silence is also a sound. And I was like, so I can also just shut up. Like I can just shut up. Like I can just not play a bowl for like 2 minutes, and they're gonna be like, damn, she really hit with that silence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, that is beautiful. I don't know. I just really love it. I don't know. It
Okay.
just makes me
I'm
so happy.
excited. I'm
Yes,
excited.
I'm gonna get it together. I want some smaller bowls because I think it's really cute when like there's like the small bowl sounds against the big bowls. So like maybe that's what I'll focus on for the next 2 weeks. Also, when I get back on Monday, I thought that I get back on Wednesday. I get back on Monday. So I have the entire week off until Friday. So that's
There you
probably
go.
what I'll be doing is like looking for sound bowls. So I will do it. We'll have an entire episode on sound bowls, I guess, and I can play you my sounds and I'll show you I'll do a show and tell. I'll do a little
Yes.
show and
Show and
tell
tell.
and I'll show you how to hit the bowls and stuff. Yeah, that's what we'll do. You're right. You're right. We'll do it that way instead of like me making a video on it. You're right. Okay. Any questions? I told
No
you it was a
questions.
story.
I love it. I love it. I
I can't
can't
believe it.
wait till we talk more in depth about this and our different topics and how you can relate them back
Yes,
to Bali and your experience there.
for sure. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that things went the way that they did. I was not expecting this at all, but I appreciate you supporting me in all of my transitions. I really do. And I'm hoping that this can be something I know. I'm not even hoping because I've experienced it. I know that this is something that can really help a lot of people, especially with anxiety. Like I really do think it's super helpful. And so I think we'll tie that in some way as well. But I I'm so happy and I'm so grateful and my heart is so full. Like my heart is so full of love. Like I can't even believe it. So I've had an amazing trip to say the least. And yeah, Any final words of wisdom from Aileen before we wrap this up?
Listen, I think plot twist, you're doing the final words of wisdom.
Ooh, stunning. Okay, final words of wisdom. From Jade. I'm gonna say follow your heart. I think that's my words of wisdom. Follow your heart and know that you're loved. Everything is love. Everything's fine. You're gonna be all right. And if you feel like you're not gonna be all right, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But um you're for real, everything's gonna be okay. And just it's gonna be fine. We're just gonna try not to worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Cause why? That's not helpful. So those are my words of wisdom. I just feel like your words of wisdom are better than that. Like your words of wisdom are a little bit better than mine. But
That was
that
great. You're doing great.
that is how we will wrap things up with Jade's words of wisdom from Bali. So with that being said, thank you all for listening. We hope that you have a good day or a good night, and we hope that you are well. Bye.
Bye.